Hey, this is FlyWire's update for the engine change on Charlie, the aerobatic Bonanza. That's 33 Charlie. It's a C model. So Charlie works. At least it works for me. It's a good name. Anyway, this is update number 7 about the engine change, and it's flying. So stick with me on FlyWire. Hey, I'm Scott Perdue, and today on FlyWire, I'm going to talk about engine change, the update number 7 for the engine change on Charlie. It's in, it's flying, it's been test flown, it's broken in. Yay! The test flight actually went really well. I'd say really the CHTs were down and they were awfully cool by an hour and a half, which is great because about the same time as the last engine that I last overhaul the engine I had from the same overhauler. Great engine. I'm really happy with it. Just as I haven't really done any tests for speed runs or fuel or anything like that, performance-wise, no performance testing yet. But on the flight over here, you can see this is not FlyWire World Headquarters. It's a temporary digs for Charlie. The Husky and the Stairman are somewhere else. But Charlie's here in this T-hangar to remain nameless. And anyway, it's here and it's going for an oil change. I like to do an oil change, and after the second long flight on an engine overhaul, so you do about a half hour of full, over 75% power runs overhead the airport in case something fails. That's your highest time frame. Then another one, generally it's an hour long, and you do that, basically I do kind of a sort of a triangle run over airports, pretty much at the same power settings, at the same altitudes, and by then the rings should seat, and they did. So it didn't take long, and the temperatures are really cool. The next run is another hour run that is varies from over 75% to around 65% and stuff like that. So you vary the RPM, you vary the power level, and all that just to help the engine break in there and get used to things. And at that point, I like to change the oil. So it's got 2.5 hours on it, and the filter as well. I'm using Type M, which is mineral oil, Phillips 2050 Type M, and time to change. It's nice and clear, and everything's going great with it, but I usually generally do that, mostly because of it was just recently overhauled, and there's always some kind of trash left over in the system, stuff like that ends up in the filter, etc. So it's just gives me a warm fuzzy to change the oil out at that point. And then I'll run it longer. I'll run mineral oil on the next run as well, but I'll run it longer. And I think I actually have 3 sets of mineral oil I'm going to do on this one. So eventually work up to going back to Phillips ashless dispersant. I like 20W50 oil. And we'll get to that. And I usually fly so much that I generally put about 50 hours on an oil change. If I don't fly it very much, I put about 25 hours on the oil change, just to prevent the acid buildup in the oil and stuff like that, if the airplane's sitting a long time. So that's it. Charlie's doing great. A little performance number on the flight over here to its temporary digs is I was doing Lena Peak, 13.5-ish gallons, and it was doing 168 to 170 knots true, which is what this airplane with the previous engine was doing at 15.3 gallons per hour. So huge, that's a huge difference in my book. And Lena Peak at 13.5 doing the same speed, 2 gallons an hour less, that's, I like it. I'll take it. So anyway, more fun to come, more stuff to come there. But I did want to say that I have a really big announcement, and this is, a little different videos for FlyWire, but I've been super busy lately with the move and everything and the engine change. And now I'm actually going to the UK next week, and there's going to be a lot of fun on that because what we're going to do is we're going to stay with a fellow who has an F-33C Bonanza that's one serial number off of this one. He has a Stearman as well. So we're going to see what GA looks like in the UK. I did a little bit of GA flying in the UK when I was stationed in the UK years ago, We're going to take a look at that in a couple of the airfields that I flew from. They're really, really cool. And we'll see how things are going there in the UK. So stand by for those videos. They're coming starting next week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on FlyWire.